I really enjoyed playing it and could absolutely see myself giving it the Surfhackers Ace of Games Award after release. Hey everyone, this is Surfhackers. Today I will be bringing you my Kickstarter preview for Fetching Feathers by Chris Prescott from Unfringed. That name probably rings a bell if you've been following my channel, because I've covered his old games such as Zuli and Molten Meadows already, and also just a little while ago, Dot. Both games will go live on Kickstarter on October 9th. You can buy either of them like separately or together as a bundle. And today I will be showing you how Fetching Feathers is actually played. This is a game for 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up, and takes about 20 to 30 minutes. It can become quite thinky, so it can also last a little bit longer than that. Alright, before we get started, grab yourself a cup of tea and let's go. Alright, there we go. This game I would call like the big brother of Zuli. I will get to that later in my review of this video to explain you why that is, but it does have some DNA in the game, but it's like also a little bit more expanded and more interesting and complex. Alright, so I will not do a montage today. I will just explain to you how the setup is done. There are a few changes to the production copy later on, because this is a preview copy. I will also go over that at the end when I do my review. Alright, I will show you how you would set up a 2-player game today. So let me just put that aside here. Alrighty, so first you separate the bird cards here that all have like really cute designs. You separate those from the locations here, and for the locations there are a few starter cards that have like a different back here, right? Like a more purplish back, so to speak, and they have like dots here. So each player gets like one starting location with 1 dot, 2 dots, and also 3 dots. Right, and the rest you can just remove from the game, right? There are like 4 of each, because you can play this with up to 4 players. And players will just like distribute them on their side. Today, for showcasing the game, I will only show you like the play area of 1 player, but the other player will do exactly the same thing, right? So I will just show you 1 player today. And what you then do is you just separately shuffle the locations deck and of the bird deck. I will just do a quick overhand shuffle just for demonstration purposes, just like that here. Give me just a moment. There we go. Then you flip the season card to either blue or orange. Let me just keep it on blue because that is my favorite color. Let me just put that here on the right. And then you will have like these 2 decks here. The smaller deck is the location deck. I will just put that at the bottom here. And the larger deck is the bird deck. You will just put that at the top here. And then each player, like in their playing area, just like spreads out their locations a little bit. You will have to play cards to the left and right, and also tuck cards under, below, and above and below the card. So you will need a bit of space around each card. So this definitely takes up some table space. First, what you do during a round is you deal cards to each player. And that always depends on the number of players and on the round, because like the further the game progresses, you get more and more cards. So the 2-player count, you deal 8 bird cards to each player. 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like that. These would go to player number 2. And then you also deal 3 location cards to each player, just like that. And these go to player 2 again. And these are then my cards. And what we now do is, now we do the drafting phase, right? Card draft, just in case you don't know, close drafting at least, but it means that you take a look at all the cards in your hand, you choose one you want to keep, put it face down on the table, and pass the rest to the other player, and receive cards from the other player as well. Then you choose one card again, put it face down, and like this goes on and on until you have drafted like all cards. It means that you have 11 cards in front of you. I will just take a look at these cards here. Actually, like having the eagle would be really nice now in the blue season. I will show you later how why that is. So I think what I would do, I would just take this location card here, put it face down, then pass these to the other player, and then take their cards, right? And then I would choose, let's see, let me just take one of these birds here, right? Pass them to the other player again, And then I get some cards from them. Okay, the eagles are still there. That is nice. So I will just take one of the eagles, pass that back to the other player, gain cards from them again. And I think I was starting to get these green ones here, right? There's another one there. So let me just take that. I will show you a little bit later what all of that means, right? And then here I will take another eagle. And this is like how the drafting works. I think I will take the location card actually. I think that would be a good idea. Then here I will take this card. Let me take this one here, I think. And you see like there are less and less cards, right? Because the other player always also takes cards, right? So you always get like less cards back, which of course does make sense. Okay, how about the flamingo here? I think that could be kind of nice. And I will get players back from the cards back from the other player. Oh, it's a little bit tough now. I should have taken more locations actually. That could be a little bit rough, but that is not bad. And I can show you how that works as well. Let me just take this one here. And then here we have also 2 cards left. Doesn't really matter. I will just take this one, and the last one will just go to the other players, and they give us like their last card as well, right? So, and after drafting, we now do the placement phase, right? So there are 2 things that we can place. One of them is the locations that we have gotten, right? That means the locations, we have 2 ways of placing them. Either we place them just as a location, just like that, or we enhance at different locations, right? Location, by placing a card there or there. We have 2 seasons here, right? The blue and the orange season. And like each season has like specific foods they can offer, right? So for example, here on this card, in this location, in the blue season, there's meat, and in the orange season, there is fish, right? But in the blue season, I want to have 2 meat here because there are some birds that need 2 meat, right? So I'll put that aside first. I don't know what I will do with this location yet. And then birds we place to the left and right of locations. But the prerequisite is that the bird, like the food that the bird needs here at the top, needs to be like present in that location. So for example, I could put the eagle right here, right? And then also below, it's a little bit small now here on camera, but below the 2 food icons, you also see like the flock size of that bird. That means how many birds can you stack on that side. So this bird, this eagle, you can only have 1 there. But we have a special ability here. That means you can have +1 more here in the flock size in the blue season, which we currently have, right? So let me take the other one that I have, and I can also put that one here, right? Because we have enough food here. And I have a flock size of 2 just for the season here, right? Okay. So, and now we take a look at these. This one needs plants, for example. We can stack up to 3 of those. That's good. So let me just put them maybe here, okay? Because the blue season here has some leaves. Okay, this one here needs fish. So you can put the fish right here. We can have a flock size up to 4. That's good. So with these, I will probably now have an issue. But these I can stack 2 as well. I can just put them right there, for example, right? Then I have another fish or leaf, or like plants or fish, or here plants or meat, right? So I can put the one for the fish here and the plants right there. And this one, then I guess this location, I think I'm fine for this location just to have it as a main location. That's it. So that would now be the placement phase. Now we do the additional migration phase. That means, let's say there was a bird that I couldn't have placed anywhere. That bird now goes to the other player, and if they are able to place it, they can just place it, right? That means the birds that don't find a spot here in any of your locations because there's no food that they want or need, then they migrate to the next player. And if they can't find food there, they migrate to the next player. If no player can actually place that bird, they will just fly somewhere else entirely, right? So that is like, the thematic integration is pretty nice. I could place everything, so I'm fine here. And now we score up points. I will now not do a whole scoring phase, but I will just explain to you how that works. What we do is we take a look at all the birds that we have placed and take a look at like the feather icons we have here. For example, we have feather 7, feather 7. That means it's 7 points each, that's 14 points. Then we look at the bottom here, if there are any additional scoring things, right? Everything that is a feather is more scoring. For the vultures here, for example, if I had a full flock of 3, I only have 2, but if I had a full flock of 3, I will get 2 additional points per bird, right? There are 2 birds. They both have that same scoring condition, right? That means the vultures would jump from 2 points each to 4 points each, which is a lot. I would have 3, right? That's a lot of points. Same thing here. This guy here, the Kingfisher, has like 2 points each, but they get 2 points each more if they had a location with 2 fish. So for example, this would have been clever to actually enhance this location like this. So now there are 2 fish here. And now they would get 2 points more each. And I do that for all the birds, and then we write down all our points here. Then we go to the second round. The second round works pretty much the same. We draw cards again. So what we would do is we would draw for the second round for 2 players. You would draw 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bird cards and 3 location cards again, just like that. Each player would draw these. We would flip this over to the next season, and then we would now do the drafting phase again. I would draw a card, pass the cards, take cards from the opponent, draw another card, right? And then we do the placement thing again. But now we have a different season. Now this doesn't work anymore here, because this guy, this eagle, needs 2 meat. But we are now in the other season, and there are no 2 meat here, right? There's only fish. That means what I would have to do is now we have to migrate the birds, right? So this one we would have to put somewhere else, for example, here now, but still only 1 meat. So we would hope that we have drafted a location with a meat, so we can actually put that down here, right? Just like that. Oops, there we go. There we go. As far as I know Chris will correct me in case I'm saying this wrong in this video here, but as far as I know, there is no limit of stacking like foods here, right? So you could stack as much as you want to, but that's not very efficient because you need to like find the balance between having the foods here that you need, but also having enough locations, because there are like more and more birds you just want to accommodate, right? And you get like more bird cards each year. It's not getting easier, right? So you would, and this one wouldn't work anymore with the stacking because it's a flock size of 1, but now we don't have the blue season anymore. So this wouldn't work either. So with this guy here, I have a problem. This one probably I couldn't put anywhere, right? And this is like what we do, like in the second year, we like add new locations, and we also add like all the birds here that we can add, and we are able to like move them around freely, right? For example, here I could put the full flock size for the flamingos here, right? Because that is perfect here. Full flock size, wonderful. And this one also has the scoring condition that if you have peacocks on the other side, which would work actually, right? If you have 2 peacocks here, they all get 2 points extra, right? Look at this. Like this, for example, right? And these now get extra points here as well because it's the orange season. So you see there is so much potential of comboing and moving the birds around, right? This is really puzzly game. You do that for the entire second year, right? You just put like all the birds where they can fit. Let me just quickly do a few ones here, like this maybe. Actually, yeah, I think let's just leave it like this. Let's just say I was able to do it like this, and these 3 I wasn't able to put anywhere, right? Then I would put these 3 ones, they would go to the neighbor, to the next player, and they could like try to fit them in somewhere, right? And then we would do like the entire scoring thing again for all the birds that are here. And then third year, the same thing. We get like cards again, we get more cards then again. We flip that to the next season, we do the drafting, placing, bird migration, and whatever, right? And that is how you would play the game. At the end of the 3rd year, you count up the points again, and then you see like who has the most points altogether. And that is how you play Fetching Feathers. I will not do a whole playthrough here, because first of all, it's not a solo game. Secondly, it can become quite puzzly and long, the game, right? So I think you should now have a pretty good overview over how this game plays. Well, and now that you have seen how Fetching Feathers works, what do I actually think of the game? Well, let me tell you. Little spoiler, I really like this game here. First of all, the theme is wonderful. Animals and nature are always a plus in my book. Always. And the focus on bird migration fits really well here. The addition of the season just ties everything together really nicely. I also really enjoy the art style here. The different bird illustrations are funny, light-hearted, and give the game a really cozy atmosphere. In some ways, the game feels similar to Zuli or Moving Wild, the Oink Games release of that. One of Chris's earlier titles, which are also featured on my channel like a few years ago. But that's a positive thing, as I really enjoyed that game. At the same time, this is not just a repeat, it's not a reskin. I'd call Fetching Feathers the big brother to Zuli or Moving Wild. With the added layer of the seasons, it becomes more complex and engaging, making the puzzle even more rewarding. The game also has a touch of player interaction, as birds you can't place will move on to another player. It's a small thing, but it adds to the experience. Drafting in this game is simple yet engaging, because you never know which birds you'll be able to pick next, so each choice matters. Especially in a two-player game, this mechanism can create surprising tension, despite the overall cozy feel of the game. I also enjoyed the way the hand size grows each round. That progression makes the game even more exciting, while also increasing the complexity, leading to some really thinky turns. The table presence is another highlight. The art is bright and gorgeous, and when the birds and locations spread out later in the game, it just looks fantastic. A few things to keep in mind. This game can be a bit much for inexperienced players, as there's quite a lot to think about. While the individual mechanisms are simple and easy to teach, the overall puzzle is still fairly complex. There's no solo mode, and honestly, that's a real shame. With such a puzzle design, it feels like a natural fit for solo play. Maybe I'll have to think up something myself, I don't know. Because Zuli and Moving Wild had a solo mode each, so I'm quite certain this could also be done here. You also need a decent sized table, especially with 3 or 4 players, as the cards take up quite a bit of space. Check out how little space I have already, and I will add even more locations. And that in a 4-player game times 4, oh wow, that's a lot of space you need. All in all, Fetching Feathers combines a charming theme with engaging drafting and puzzle progression. The seasons are a really clever addition that elevate the game beyond Chris's earlier designs, and the growing hand size adds both excitement and depth. While it may be a bit too complex for non-gamers and lacks a solo mode, I really enjoyed playing it and could absolutely see myself giving it the Sir Thacker's Ace of Games award after release. I have a rule that I don't do that for preview copies, so whenever I have the production copy in my hand and will play the same or even better, maybe even solo mode, I'm quite sure that it could receive one of my awards. Now let me just give a minute to talk a little bit about the differences between this copy and the copy you can back on Kickstarter, the production copy, right? The preview copy, a lot of things are still subject to change, but I already know a few change of the components. Later on, you will not have a tuck box, you actually will have a hard 2-piece box that is better for traveling and just more damage resistant and stuff like that, right? That's one thing. You will also have a scoring pad in the final version, which I don't have here. Also, you will have a rule book in the production copy, because here in the preview copy, I only have the QR code for the digital rules, but there will be rule booklets in the final version. Also, there will be a Kickstarter exclusive, a promo card for a bird from the distant past. I think you can already see, like on Instagram, you can see a few ideas there. I think you can also get that card at conventions, if I'm not mistaken. And then you can get this game. You can then get either single, just this game, or you can get it in combination with Dot in the same campaign as a bundle, right? Depending on whether you want both games or just one of them. If you're not sure about what this game does, just check out the video I have released recently. Yeah, that's all I think you need to know about this game, which goes live on Kickstarter on October 9th of this year. Well, and that concludes my showcase and preview of Fetching Feathers. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching and for staying to the very end of the video. As usual, my thanks goes out to all of you. A special shout out to my generous patrons. Biggest thanks go out to Thackenor for supporting me at the highest tier. I really appreciate that. You can also support me by watching, liking, and commenting on my videos, subscribing to my channel, support me on Patreon, and join my Discord server to hang out with me and my really cool community. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the very next video, or my Discord server. Take care everyone, stay safe, and cheers.